Let's be honest, trying to get published in a top academic journal can feel like, well, like an impossible mission. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a strategy that more and more researchers are using to level up their game and get their work seen by the world.
So, why is this whole process so incredibly hard? I mean, if you're a researcher, you already know this story, right? The pressure is immense, the deadlines are always looming, and you're just trying to get your brilliant work past the gatekeepers of these major journals. It's a real struggle.
It really is a gauntlet. And writing a fantastic paper, that's just the starting line. After that, you've got to deal with the painstaking formatting, follow every single guideline to the letter, and then brace yourself for the intense and, let's face it, often intimidating peer review process.
This is exactly where a new kind of support system is stepping in: professional journal writing services. Think of them as a project manager for your paper. Their whole job is to handle the logistical nightmare of publishing so that you, the researcher, can get back to doing what you do best, focusing on the big ideas.
Okay, so what does it actually mean to have an expert guide in this process? Let's break down what this support system really looks like.
And wow, the scope of what they cover is huge. This is not just someone proofreading for typos. We're talking about managing the entire process from start to finish, from helping structure the manuscript itself to polishing the language, all the way to giving you strategic advice when you're in the middle of that stressful peer review.
So let's walk through that journey, from a rough draft all the way to hitting that submit button. This is the pre-publication phase, where all your raw research and ideas get forged into a polished manuscript that's ready to stand up to an editor's critical eye.
And it's a very systematic workflow. It usually kicks off with a deep dive, a consultation about your research goals. From there, it moves through drafting, heavy-duty editing, and then, and this is super important, selecting the right journal. It all leads up to getting a perfect submission package ready, cover letter and all, so there are no unforced errors.
Now, that fourth step, choosing the journal, you could argue it's the most critical decision in the entire process. I really can't overstate this. You could have a world-changing paper, but if you send it to a journal where it's not a good fit, you'll get an instant desk rejection. It won't even make it to reviewers.
So how do the experts nail this? Well, they analyze everything based on 4 key pillars. They make sure the paper's scope is perfectly aligned with the journal. They look at the impact factor for visibility. They think about the target audience who will read and cite the work. And they're realistic about the acceptance rate to build a smart submission strategy.
All right, now for the part that strikes fear into the heart of every academic: peer review. This is where so many papers stumble and fall. But the secret is to stop seeing it as a final exam and start seeing it as a chance to turn that criticism into a stronger, more bulletproof paper.
And let's be real, that feedback can sting. I mean, you've poured months, maybe even years of your life into a project, and then someone just points out all its flaws. It can feel deeply personal. Every researcher knows that feeling.
Just imagine opening that review email and reading this: "The methodology lacks clarity regarding sample size justification." Oof, your heart just sinks. How in the world do you respond to that without sounding defensive?
This is where the difference in approach is just night and day. Our natural instinct might be to fire back a quick defensive explanation, but the professional way is totally different. It's polite, it's structured, and it literally points the reviewer to the exact page and section where the fix was made. That simple act of respect for the reviewer's time can be the difference between rejection and acceptance. So let's say you do it. You navigate the peer review, you get that amazing acceptance letter, but that's not the finish line. Nope. In fact, that's just the start of a whole new challenge, making sure your research actually makes an impact.
You can see here how the type of support completely shifts. Before submission, it's all about creating and perfecting the paper. But after it's published, the focus flips to strategy, tracking citations, promoting the work so people see it, and making sure it finds the right audience to make waves.
Because that's the whole point, isn't it? Getting published isn't just about adding another line to your resume. It's about making sure your discoveries get into the right hands, spark new ideas, and get the credit and attention they truly deserve.
And all of this brings us to a really fascinating question about the future. In a world of academia that's getting more competitive by the day, is this kind of expert collaboration no longer just a nice to have, but maybe the new standard for success? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks so much for watching.